Good morning. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow.
Can I start that over?
No, this is not going to be a great day. I feel like
that over?
this is not your best work.
All right.
Let me try.
Welcome to our living room.
Episode 176. It's literally right in front of you.
I know.
I don't know why you have such trouble
reading.
remembering what you're recording and when you're recording it, but...
I know. So it's early. I would like to use that as my defense.
No defense, because you talk about being an early morning person.
I am a morning person, but look at this guy's eyes. You can tell how early it is.
Yeah. Now, 5:30 tonight, her eyes are going to look like this.
That's true. Yes, we're very different. But, okay, so last week was my birthday. A week ago today was my birthday.
Yeah.
And I have to share this one really fun gift for just YouTube, you guys on YouTube, because on the podcast they can't see it. Look at this fabulous cat perfume I got.
Katy Perry.
Is it Katy Perry?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even know that. Okay, so the head comes off, and then I can spray my perfume.
It rattles nicely in the microphone.
It does. I'm sure that everybody's enjoying that. So the reason that my daughter got me this, it was hilarious. Abigail, our third daughter, got this for me because if you've ever watched the show The Middle, the mom is like, oh, I'm so glad you guys didn't get me that disgusting cat perfume again. And then she opens her present, and it's the cat perfume. So yeah. Abigail was like, we have to get mom cat perfume. So I'm wearing it.
It smells great.
Can you smell it from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It smells great.
Does it smell like a cat?
No, not at all.
Good.
But
the bottle's kind of fun too because you get to like
rip its head off. That's cruel. Yeah. If you haven't seen The Middle, you've got to watch it. It's about Midwesterners.
Yeah, it's about poor Midwesterners, which we can both kind of relate to.
Yeah.
The way we grew up.
So it's great.
The caller says.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. So that was one of the highlights of my gifts, but I got a lot of other good gifts, and we had such a great time away.
It's Kitty Purry.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cute. That's clever.
I just made that up.
Oh, it's not then. Okay.
By Katy Perry, and it's a cat.
Kitty Purry. That's funny. I got it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was okay.
I'm a genius.
You're saying, okay.
I'll have my people reach out to her people, and we'll see if we can make the next perfume bottle happen.
Seriously, I have got to get some caffeine in my body.
Purry. All right. You ready to go?
I don't know. I need
Are
to
you
drink some more.
caffeinated enough?
No, I really am not. I'm so tired right now. Why am I so tired? Oh, I didn't have a good sleep. I had a nightmare. So
we're talking. Do you want to share? Can you share it on the podcast?
It's not exciting.
Well, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's not an exciting nightmare for other people. It's a personal nightmare.
Like personally, you can share it, or is it too embarrassing?
No, like I can share it.
All right, let's hear it.
I went back into a client's home after having painted for them, and the paint had separated on the walls, and there were like huge areas where the paint had separated and bubbled, and the people thought that I did a poor job painting. And so I ran frantically around the house trying to fix all of the mistakes and apologizing for it. And meanwhile, you were in the car texting me saying that you needed to hurry up and get home for your men's group, that you were going to be late, and I was trying to hurry. And as I was packing up the paint, you left. So I left the client's house with all my stuff and walked outside, and the car was gone. Because you had to leave me. And I came back in. I was like, he had to leave me. And the client was like, he's a horrible person. And I was like, no, he had men's group. I knew that he had to leave. It was okay. And then I was like, can I get a ride home from the client? And it was just awful. So that was my nightmare.
Oh, they should make a movie about that. You can make a lot of money.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's horrifying.
Yeah. That's the kind of nightmares that I have, though. Like letting people down and making you late.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's my worst nightmare.
So, Valentine's Day is coming up a week from today.
Yep.
So, everybody's been warned. You've got a week to prepare for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're giving you time.
Which is exactly why we dropped this instead of dropping it literally on Valentine's Day, because then you'd have no time. So, we've got some interesting and some exciting ideas to share with you.
Tintillating.
Careful how you say that.
I was.
So.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, you meant the podcast.
I did mean the podcast.
Oh, okay. Gather around, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships. We're the Osterkamps. I'm Thomas, and this is my titillating wife, Lysandra.
Hello and welcome to our family. Welcome to episode 176 of the Family Meeting Podcast. On today's episode...
What is that?
That was for you. That's something you would normally do, and I did it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to honor you.
Okay.
Okay. On today's episode, we are going to talk about Valentine's Day because it's a week from today.
I love it.
I know. I love it too, and I love you. So we wanted to give you a week's notice, and you've got time to think about it. You can't use the excuse, I forgot it was Valentine's Day. We're warning you a week in advance, and we're giving you ideas. We're trying to make this easy for you, okay? You're going to knock it out of the park this year, and we're going to help you. But our ideas are going to be a little unique, maybe, from other ideas. We tried to think of some things that weren't
just going out to dinner.
Yeah,
and having sex afterward.
Which those things are great.
Now, if you want to swap those, that's interesting.
That makes it unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Might actually be good to start with an empty stomach.
Instead of full?
Yeah, I'm just saying, eat a big, heavy Italian dinner and then do stuff. Okay, so we have a PG rating, and we're going to keep that PG rating.
We are, yes.
So you may hear the word intimacy.
Oh, boy, here we go.
And closeness.
Would you like a nice, intimate Valentine's Day?
Yes. All right, so we're going to give you some ideas and talk about those things. And maybe you're not going to do the ideas that we give you, but use them as inspiration to do your own thing that is unique to you. Because that's really the main thing, is knowing your spouse and what's cool and special for them.
Yeah, because the goal is just to get you thinking and generate ideas. So as you hear something, you're like, okay, that wouldn't work for us, but we could do this instead.
Exactly. And granted, not all the ideas are mind-blowing or anything, but...
I've seen a few of them you wrote down. They all blew my mind.
Really?
Can't believe someone would put that on paper.
Oh, okay.
See what I did there?
I
brought
did,
you up
yeah.
and I slammed it down, which you could also do on Valentine's Day.
Whoa. Okay.
All right. So before we jump into this intimate conversation, want to encourage you to be a part of what's going on February 29th, Leap Day. And we had a leap day this year just because of this special moment. Mm-hmm. All of the things on the calendar, the solar system, the planets, all have aligned for this moment in time. Our members-only group call.
Oh, I can't wait.
February 29th, kicking that off. We're going to be talking about conflict resolution, which in a marriage, you've got issues. You've got disagreements, you've got arguments, you've got fights. And understanding the proper framework to be able to handle that is the difference between finding resolution and getting closer together and conflict that can continue on for a long time and, have your relationship not be what it should be.
Right. Yeah.
So,
conflict resolution is always relevant.
Always.
No matter who you are, this is a relevant conversation. This is going to make sense for you in your life.
So it applies whether you're married, maybe you're having issues with your kids or whatever else, or your parents. Mm-hmm. These are things that you're going to be able to apply. So here's what's going to happen is you can go to familymeeting.org, hit the shop tab, look for the monthly call, and that will send you an email with the link to our private Facebook group where we'll be posting all the stuff that you need in there. The link to the phone call will be in there, the Zoom call, and our handout that we're going to give out that's going to help you take some practical steps in the area of conflict resolution. And I think it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of great discussions in there, some fun giveaways that nobody else will get and have access to. Things that won't be available in our store and stuff like that. So it'll be a fun time where we can have conversations with each other versus a one-sided conversation where you're just listening to us.
Yeah, because we know you guys are tired of hearing us.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
How could you?
That happened a long time ago.
How could you?
You want to talk.
But it's nice to have a conversation.
It is. I'm really looking forward to it.
So familymeeting.org, hit that shop tab and you'll see it there.
Okay. So let's switch gears and talk about Valentine's Day. And we do want to encourage you to celebrate Valentine's Day, And we want to encourage you really to celebrate the love that God's given you and your spouse. It is worth celebrating.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of you are like, man, Valentine's Day. Listen, you guys have a love that is very special, and understand that like loving one another is a gift. Not everybody has a loving marriage. And maybe you're listening to this and that's you. Then maybe celebrating this, taking a little time and putting a little effort into the relationship can maybe bring back that love and feeling.
Totally. Bring back that love and feeling. And then we're going to stop right there so we don't lose listeners. But
yeah.
I want to say this before we jump into this, because this is going to be all about husbands and wives and celebrating the love that you have for each other. But Valentine's Day is not just about that. I think it's a great opportunity to celebrate the love that you have for the people in your life. Mm-hmm. And so we've got people on all kinds of different spectrums as far as what their family situation looks like. We've got single people that listen or in the group. We've got some divorced people, people who lost their spouse and whatever else. And so we're talking about couples today, but this also gives you a week to do some special things for the people in your life. And so think about some ways that you can make Valentine's Day special for the people that you love and the people that love you. It doesn't necessarily have to be just about a romantic husband and wife love for each other, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. You can listen to the episode and you can get some ideas and jot down for the future love of your life or whatever, but just use it as an opportunity to, okay, what can I do with my kids that would be kind of special? Yes. Or what are some things, if you're an adult and you call your parents up and you're like, hey, I love you and I would love to have Valentine lunch with you or something like that.
Really
that would be huge.
That would make my parents' day.
Or write a note or whatever else. So,
and I think that you've done that for your mom.
Yes, I have.
You get your mom flowers every Valentine's Day. It's really sweet.
And so, I know we're talking to couples specifically, but you can use this as a way to generate some ideas for the people in your life.
On those lines, we always get our girls something for Valentine's Day. One Valentine's Day, we got them each individual heart-shaped waffle makers.
Yes.
They loved those.
Yeah, they still use them.
They still use them. They're always in our way. But so this year, and they're upstairs in their bedroom, so I got to be
I don't think they can hear us, though.
They can't. Okay.
They typically think we might be talking about sex down here, so they
definitely don't want to hear. And today we might actually be. So I got them these heart-shaped, for those on YouTube, you can see how big I'm showing. They are heart-shaped, like giant chocolates, and they're wrapped with little dogs, like on the wrapper. And they each say things like, oh gosh, can you remember any of them? They're all puns.
No.
It's like, I love you, woof much, or something. I don't know. That wasn't it. But
well, I hope that wasn't it. If you bought that.
I can't remember, but it's like, it's got the woof in it or whatever. It's all these puns. And our kids will love it because they love our little dog. And they all, of course, like chocolate. And these are just teeny tiny little things. And then we might have daddy get them a rose or something each.
Yeah.
So something like that. But it can be very simple, especially, for your kids. Anything, just when you think of them, it means so much. So that's what we're doing for our kids. Think of something to do for yours too, if you have them.
Now, couples.
Let's talk couples. Now, we knew a man who felt very strongly and was very happy to share with everybody that he did not believe in celebrating Valentine's Day. He said he felt like this day was created and commercialized for companies to just make money off of people. Therefore, he refused to celebrate, and his wife was hurt each year because she saw other women receiving flowers or going to dinner with their husbands and all of that. And I get what he's saying. Like, in a way, I get it. I can understand his perspective. But here's my question. Thomas, what do you think about that perspective? You're a man. Like, as a woman, all women are expected to want to celebrate Valentine's Day. But does a man?
So here's the thing. Whether or not a man wants to celebrate Valentine's Day is beyond the point. He wants to celebrate Valentine's night. Don't spit coffee all over the computers.
I didn't. I got it down. We're good.
But I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. But I just think this dude was cheap. That's the honest. I just think I don't think he wanted to spend the extra because things cost extra.
He could also be lazy.
The flowers cost extra on Valentine's Day. Candy, those cost. The restaurants and all that.
It also takes effort, though.
So
He was cheap and lazy.
I don't know about the lazy part because he would take her out to dinner and things like that. So it's not like he never did anything for her, but I just think he was cheap. And so he whether you feel that way or not, like your feelings at that point are meaningless because your wife wants to be loved. She wants to feel appreciated. She sees everybody else. And we don't do things just because everybody else is doing something. But if this is important to your spouse, and this is one of those conversations you have, and it's you got the thing out there where people say, women say, I don't want anything for Valentine's Day, or I don't want anything for my birthday or anniversary or whatever.
All I want is your love.
And it's the meme about the trap or whatever.
It's a trap.
Honestly, some women just don't care.
Yeah.
And they're not big celebrators. So if you do something, at home, that's fine. And they're okay with that. But understanding what your spouse wants and expects is important for you. And later on, he came around. Mm-hmm. Like, he did come around after a while. They came to some of the marriage retreats and stuff that we did. And I remember years later, this same guy coming to me he was one of these tough old school guys, right? A few decades older than me. Maybe 3 or 4 decades older than me, and I don't remember. But he came up to me in tears, and he said, until we started coming to these retreats, I never understood, how important it was to be my wife's friend.
Yeah.
And that he had not heard her laugh before. And they started becoming friends, and he would tell jokes and hear her laugh, and he just loved it.
That makes me want to cry right now.
He did come around.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where he had to learn to get to know what his wife expected and what she wanted, and that's part of this conversation. And you've got a week to figure it out.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, ladies, don't throw hints out there.
Right.
Just tell them what you want, tell them what you expect, sit down and have a good conversation about it. And that saves a lot of disappointment and all those sorts of things. So
right. Okay, so ladies, where my ladies at? I'm going to start with you. I want to talk to you, okay? Because this year things are going to be a little different in the Osterkamp home.
Really?
Yes, typically in our house, which I hate that I have to tell you this now. I would rather surprise you next week, but I'm going to surprise you right now because I want to give all of my ladies this idea.
Okay.
So can you just pretend to be surprised on Valentine's Day?
I could sit here, plug my ears, and make noise in the microphone so that I can't hear.
No, thank you. Okay, so normally Thomas would come to me with some sort of flowers or something.
Last year I got you roses, and I got a rose for each of the girls.
Yes. And he would buy me a few small but thoughtful things. Like, we don't spend a ton of money on it. He would usually take me out to dinner, make a sweet, lovey-dovey post on social media about me, and then we would enjoy intimacy in the evening. And Valentine's Day has always been great. We've always loved it. And of course, typically we have to work on Valentine's Day. It very rarely falls on like a non-work day. Well, and we don't have that many non-work days. We just have Fridays.
Well, and all of our people here, it's rare that it falls on a non-work day.
Exactly.
Everybody listening.
Yeah. It just works. We got to work, right? But this year, I'm going to give Thomas a Valentine's Day he will never forget.
I'm very intrigued right now.
Are you?
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Okay, are you excited? Okay. This year, I wanted to change things up. So he's finding out right now. The plan is I'm going to surprise him the day of. Only he knows right now. And I am going to get him a bouquet. But it's not going to be of roses.
Why?
Do you want a bouquet of roses?
Men like flowers too.
Do you want a bouquet of roses?
I can buy my own flowers. I can hold my own hand.
I know. You don't want flowers. And I know that about you. You got to know your husband, okay? Maybe he does want flowers, whatever. But Thomas doesn't. So I'm going to make him a bouquet. And if you guys have ever seen those bouquets that you give out for people's birthdays or whatever, it's like a candy bar bouquet. I'm not going to do that because Thomas right now.
You're not going to make some sort of sad fruit bouquet.
No, you don't like fruit like that. Like I know you. Would you just let me finish? Wow, this is fun. Is this fun? Yeah.
This is fun.
We're having a great time.
I told them to let people know what they expect and what they. So I'm telling you, I don't want some homemade sad fruit
I know
arrangement.
that because I know you. Okay. So normally you would take skewers and you would like tape candy bars to it and put it in a basket or whatever. So I'm going to take that idea, but I'm going to alter it for Thomas, and it's going to be like some Amazon gift cards, a couple of like gift cards to his favorite restaurants,
Tickets to the Orlando Magic, tickets
Not
to
that
see
big.
the Iowa Hawkeyes.
We don't have enough money for that. Sorry, babe. Little things. And then I might have a few treats and things like that sprinkled in there. But it's going to be all things that he likes that I can put on skewers and then make a bouquet out of it. So he's going to get a little bouquet.
Okay.
Then...
Not hating this idea.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to also surprise him with some of his favorite drinks in the fridge. I'm going to take him out to either lunch or supper. We'll have to depend. It'll depend on our schedule for work that day.
It's a Wednesday. So.
It's a Wednesday, yeah. And I am going to
I will
him
say
to
this.
his favorite restaurant.
I prefer lunch because typically lunch on Valentine's Day is not as busy as the evening.
Right.
So we almost always would go out to lunch.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But typically, I take you to where you want to go.
Right. So this year, I'm going to take him to where he wants to go, and I'm going to treat him, and then...
This has never happened in our entire relationship.
No, because he always treats me to Valentine's Day. But I heard something on the radio recently that said something about like... or maybe it was on Facebook. I don't even remember. But it was like some man complaining, why is it always the man's job to do Valentine's Day? Men want to be treated too, or whatever. And I was like, that's true. And
we want love also.
Thomas. You want love. And I'm going to make sure you feel love. And then in the evening, when it's time for intimacy, there will be a surprise.
Really?
But this I'm not going to tell on the podcast. This is an actual surprise for you that night.
Okay.
Okay.
I will... Never mind.
Be careful what you say.
Okay.
Okay, so that's my Valentine's idea. So girls, maybe this year it's your year to make it special for your husband rather than expecting him to do it
Switch
for you.
it up. I like that.
I like it too.
I had no idea. But this is a Valentine's Day I can get behind.
Awesome.
I love celebrating you and getting stuff for you anyway. So, like, I like Valentine's Day. I think it's fun.
So 20 years of marriage and even before marriage, I remember actually the first Valentine's present that Thomas ever got me was a velvet fake rose that opened up and had 2 little diamond stud earrings in them that weren't real.
Diamond in quotes.
It was from Walmart.
Yes, it was from Walmart. Yeah.
I think it even had the tag on it still.
Maybe.
But we were just young teenagers. I mean, I bet I was like 13.
Yeah.
I was really young. I had to hide that rose from my dad, but I wore the earrings.
Where are they now?
They broke. The little fake diamond thing fell out, and then the silver turned my earlobes green.
That's funny.
But it was so sweet. I still have the rose. The rose is upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, so Thomas has been treating me to Valentine's Day since I was young. And I mean, it's a long time coming that I should have probably done this for you. My bad.
Well, I mean, I just love celebrating you and our love, our anniversaries, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sentimental and romantic when it comes to you.
Yes, you are. And I love it.
But typically the man in the relationship is the one who is expected to make the wife or the girlfriend feel special on Valentine's Day. And I think most men do enjoy putting something together for the woman. But, hey, we want to be thought of as well. So,
yeah. So do you like the idea of... Do you think other men also would enjoy the idea of their wife or girlfriend or whatever putting on a special Valentine's Day for them?
Totally.
Do you think that... Okay,
like if you did the things exactly like you're saying that he likes, it's a home run.
Do you think that a man would appreciate that as much as a woman does when a man does it for her? Is it equal?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Obviously, all people are different. So
right.
Just as there's some women who really don't care, there's some men that really don't care.
Yeah.
So, like our friend Brett, I think he could care less. But there's some men that would be the world to them for sure.
Right. Okay.
So, I think I don't think it's necessarily a gender thing. I think it's just who you are as a person.
But most likely, all men want intimacy.
Yeah.
So plan that.
Yeah.
Here's another cool idea. What if you started doing alternating years where the man or the woman plans the perfect Valentine's for the other? Then the pressure is spread out more evenly and everyone gets to enjoy their favorites on Valentine's Day every other year. What do you think about that? Would you not want that because you really like to plan it for me?
I do really like to plan it for you, so I don't know how I feel about that.
Maybe every 5 years.
I think that you could come up with some sort of compromise where I think it should be two ways all the time
every year.
In these as far as like, hey, do something thoughtful and meaningful and loving for him, and he's doing something thoughtful and meaningful for you.
Okay.
He may not, want you to pick the restaurant and go to his favorite restaurant all the time. He would like to go to yours or whatever, but I don't think it necessarily has to be, all right, you do all the planning, I'm not doing anything this year.
Yeah.
I think it should be a give.
Okay.
As it should be in all things. So,
sounds great. Now let's give you some fun ideas for this Valentine's Day that may be a little unusual and maybe a little outside of the box. I really like this first one. Recreate your first date.
okay.
That would be really fun, especially if you live in the same area. Now, I think that we did this back in Iowa. We, to a certain extent, recreated our first date. But I think it'd be cool even if you could try to remember, like, what was the conversation like on your first date? And try to remember some of that stuff. Like, what did we talk about?
I don't remember what we talked about yesterday.
That is true. So, women, this is where you're going to have to come in.
Now, it's going to be a little different depending on how you met each other, right? So if you met online and this is your first date, you're having some of the conversations about getting to know you, it's a little easier to remember that versus, hey, we've known each other for a long time, but this was our official first date. Mm-hmm. It's a little harder to remember those sorts of conversations.
The other thing that I think would be fun doing this recreation of your first date is to begin to compare who you were on your first date with who you are now, because we've all changed so much. So even down to like, what's your favorite food? Has it changed? And kind of going through some of those things I think would be fun to stir up the conversation.
So here's a little alternate version of that.
Okay.
That we talked about the other day. And that is you meet each other somewhere pretending it is your first date.
Yes.
So like you go to pick them up somewhere.
Yeah. That would be really fun.
So that's an idea as well.
Yeah.
Or it's like you're just two strangers in the night who happen to meet up at this place.
Yes, that sounds super
and that's
fun.
your first date. So
Yeah.
you're kind of recreating it, but in a different way. It's not your actual first date.
Right. Or just coming with...
Okay, now you have to say it. I saw the look on your face, and so did YouTube, and they're like, well, tell me more.
This is something that I want to do sometime. We've never done this, but we've talked about this for years.
Okay.
Like coming into a hotel bar or a hotel lobby or whatever as other people.
Okay,
Totally
I gotcha.
different. One of us having booked a room.
Gotcha.
And then you just...
What if we both booked a room?
We are only going to need one.
Okay.
But that's kind of like a fun little idea that you could do on Valentine's Day as well. Really be strangers. So you're not like going on your first date where this is planned, but you are meeting and pretending to be strangers or creating your own little fake identity for the night.
Just make sure you look enough like you that you're not picking up somebody else.
But we do recommend wigs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Do you even have a wig?
I do not.
She's like, we recommend it. I don't have any.
Would I buy one for this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I would.
So
Okay.
that could be an idea. But one of the things you could do is just watch the sunrise together.
Yep.
Like get up and have a very early date together where maybe you grab some coffee and you head out to wherever your favorite sunrise spot is. Obviously, we live on the East Coast, and so we love to go to the beach. We just did this for Lysandra's birthday. We do it at Christmas. We do it at...
Your birthday.
My birthday. Some of the girls like it for their birthday.
Mm-hmm. Anniversary.
So it's kind of a special thing that we do together pretty on a regular basis.
But this is outside the box because nobody ever thinks about sunrise on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's not like Christmas morning where you're like up early.
Yeah, usually it's like Valentine's night is the thing, but you could do Valentine's morning.
Yeah. So once again, it depends on when it falls and when you work and all those sorts of things. But for some of you, this is an out of the box idea where it's like, okay, we're gonna grab a quick coffee, go to sunrise, and then maybe out to breakfast afterward.
I love that idea.
At one of your favorite little breakfast spots, and just starting the day together. And you're just talking about how you met and having those conversations that remind you of how you got together, why you fell in love, what you love about each other. I think those are great conversations to have, especially as you sit in a romantic moment like watching the sunrise.
Absolutely. All right, so keeping this thought process of celebrating Valentine's morning, what about breakfast in bed and then other stuff in bed? Right away in the morning. Start off Valentine's Day right. What do you think?
I think that could be a great idea. Now, you want to be specific about who's making breakfast and all those sorts of things. So, but yeah, that could be a great idea.
Yeah.
It would be, a lot would depend on personality and stuff too, right? If you're not a morning person, then I'm not sure how well this is going to go over.
Yeah. And neither of us eat breakfast. So this is not a good idea for us, but
so
it may
we
be
could
the
just skip
perfect idea
breakfast
for you.
in bed.
I'm game.
Okay. What about this?
Okay.
So we're still in the morning time. Maybe breakfast in bed isn't their thing. It's not your thing. But what if you wake your spouse up to a romantic massage?
Oh, I'd like that. Oh, you know what? This morning, as I was just about to get out of bed, you started scratching my back, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, okay, I'll stay in bed for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Get my back scratched. So I like a little scratch. But
Yeah, and so you could wake them up to a romantic massage.
That's good.
And you can go on, like, there's still a week left, right? So you can go on Amazon and get the massage oils and all the stuff.
Be careful with the hot stones.
Wake up early, light a few candles, and just let things progress however they progress after that.
That'd be such a nice way to wake up. I like this idea.
You're all relaxed and everything, and it'd be a nice moment together. So
Yeah.
a little different than maybe what you normally do on a Valentine's Day.
I like that. Okay, so here's a couple of ideas that are outside the box. I think so often we just get such a narrow focus on Valentine's. It's like, get flowers, get chocolate, go to dinner, come home, have sex. Every single year. But not every woman is the same. I personally do not want flowers. I do not want chocolates. Now, sometimes Thomas will do those things for me because it's kind of tradition and I'm fine with it, but it would never be my first choice, right? And maybe your wife is like that. So here's an idea. Maybe you have like a fun outdoorsy wife. I love being outdoors. I love adventure and activity and everything. So this might be a good idea for you and your relationship. You could either go paddle boarding on Valentine's Day or ice skating, depending on where you live. Pick an outdoor activity. Maybe it's sledding. Oh, I'm so sorry for all of you northern people who have to deal with the snow right now.
Listening
I love you.
in Minnesota right now, you're probably not want anything to do with the paddleboard.
You're not going to go very far. It's on the ice at this point. But maybe it's ice skating. Maybe it's skidooing.
That is a Minnesota thing.
It is. Go skidooing.
Yeah.
But just go and do that outside activity. Go on the hike, whatever it may be. Go bike riding, whatever. Like, do that activity rather than getting dressed up and going to dinner. For this Valentine's, you're going to be in sneakers and yoga pants and a workout sweatshirt. And that's your Valentine's. I think that sounds awesome. I personally love this idea.
So along the same lines, allow your spouse to teach you a sport.
Like all the movies.
Yeah, like all the movies where the guy comes up
how to-
behind her and is like, hey, let me show you how to...
Swing a bat as I press my body against you.
Exactly, yeah. So that could be an idea. Now, this will work well for some couples, not for others.
Maybe it's the woman who is going to teach the man a sport.
Really?
It can happen.
When did sandwich making become a sport?
No, you didn't. Oh my goodness. Wow. Just, whoa. Oh man. Okay. Move on quickly. That's all I can say. Hurry up. All right, it's my turn. I'm gonna go. Okay.
I'm just teasing. So I just need to say that. I'm just teasing.
You do have to say that.
So one of the greatest athletes in the world right now is Caitlin Clark, and she is taking the world by storm, Iowa Hawkeye basketball player. So
Yeah.
just joking, ladies.
Women
Don't
can
send
be
me the hate mail.
athletes too. Okay. This is a fun idea, but this is for the risky couple.
Or risque.
Both. You have to be both. You have to be risky and risque to want to do this.
Okay.
Are we risky or risque?
Depends on the situation.
Okay. Take boudoir photos. It could be just the wife or it could be the wife and the husband together. Now you're going to take these obviously on your own devices and then you have to decide what to do with those photos after that.
Oh, but you could go to a place. Like there are photographers that do this.
I like would never do that because I'm so afraid. That brings in a third person into the equation, and makes me so nervous that like those pictures would get out somewhere or whatever. And also, I don't want that person, whoever they may be, to see me or us or whatever. So for me, that would not work. I would be so uncomfortable, and it would not be fun. It would
Some
be
of you
miserable.
would love that though. You'd love to have a photographer come and take pictures for you or
Then
whatever.
go for it.
Go to the studio.
Yeah. But make sure that this is with consent. So both parties, I feel like it is important to really talk about this before you do it, don't you?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You don't want to surprise somebody and be like, "Here we are to take pictures."
No. I mean, like, even if the woman went to a photographer by herself to take pictures to present to her husband on Valentine's Day, don't you think he should have a say in whether or not she does that? Because some men, I think, would be uncomfortable with that, like, third person.
Yeah, I think you're gonna know. I mean, if you
Hopefully you know your spouse already.
having the conversation, if you want to surprise them, hopefully you have some sort of idea. I'm not opposed to the surprising them with that, but you do need to know your spouse a little bit to know if they'd be okay with that, or if it'd make them really upset or feel some sort of way. I think it could be a great idea for some couples. No matter what you do, there's risks involved with the photos getting out, even if you take them yourself digitally or whatever, because with the way that the world is digital, like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you taking videos and photos and all that kind of stuff. I think it can be a great moment for a couple, and but you have to understand there's always risks involved, and we know people who literally they don't take any photos at all like that because of the risk of the picture getting out somehow.
We also know people who will take pictures like that, but never with the heads in the picture. That way, nobody could ever be like, "Oh, that's your body."
Plausible deniability.
That is not my body.
I didn't want to see your face in this picture anyway, so.
So I know how you'll actually enjoy the pictures then.
So,
no face. Got it.
Yeah. So it's being on the receiving end of pictures sent to me and taking pictures and things like that. Yeah. It's always an enjoyable time. Like it's always a good time. Who's it that sang that song?
I don't know.
Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter. No, not her. I forget.
I don't think it
Jepsen.
matters.
Carly Rae Jepsen. She's saying it. Always a good time.
Awesome.
But so yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
And along these lines, maybe you could send some erotic pictures on Valentine's Day, a little teaser for the night.
Yeah.
Say like, this is what I got you for this evening. This is what's
something
coming. Yeah.
Depending on what they do for a living, you may want to send like a little warning ahead of time, like text that's saying, "Hey, I'm about to send you a text. Don't open it in front of
your coworkers."
Yeah. Or whatever. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that could be fun.
Okay. How about a tandem bike ride? This is my dream. My dream is to be in like the cutest little outfits ever and go on a tandem bike ride in the cutest little, scenery and like in the woods or like in a cute little beach town. And we get pictures of us on this little bike riding around. This is my dream.
This is the last thing on earth I think I want to do.
I know. Sad. Anyway, maybe that's something you could do. I don't know. It's an idea.
I would do it though.
Okay.
I would do it.
You would?
Yeah. You remember when we were staying at Casa de Esta in
I
Vero
remember.
Beach, and we were coming out to leave, and they had the bikes there.
And I was like, tandem bikes! I flipped out.
Yes, you did.
And did we ride them?
We did not. You had to sign a waiver and all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but I agreed. I said, next time we're here and they have the bikes, we'll ride the bikes.
And have we gone back there?
No, because the prices have been a lot higher the last few times we wanted to go.
It wasn't. We couldn't
couldn't
afford that.
Chose a cheaper location.
I guess we should have gone on the bike ride when we had the opportunity.
No, but now we're building anticipation.
Yeah, I'm anticipating punching you in the face right now.
You can't just say that.
That's a joke. I am joking.
She's not.
But that is payment for the sandwich comment. So, all right.
All right, so here's an idea.
Okay.
You would each pick the other's outfit for the evening activity.
Okay, like the quotation marks, like evening activity. Okay, I getcha.
But it could be both.
Okay. Oh, okay. So like we're going out to dinner.
Yeah. But I'm going to pick what you wear.
No, I'm not. I'm out. I'm not doing this one.
And you pick what I wear.
I'll pick what you wear, but I will not wear what you pick because it would not be appropriate. So no. If you can trust your husband, then do this. But most of us
If it's not appropriate, that's on you because you have it in your closet, obviously.
Not for everybody, for you.
Okay.
All right. But
the other way too.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
You could get your wife something to wear for the evening. She could get you something to wear for the evening.
Yeah, because some women like to see their men dressed up in certain outfits too.
Yeah. So that could be one thing you could do together.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Change it up.
Mm-hmm. This is fun. Okay, this is one that I'm gifting to you, Thomas. Play video games. Winner gets to pick where you go for dinner. Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be chicken. It'd be lobster.
Winner, lobster dinner. I hate watching video games. I hate playing video games. I hate the sound of video games. If I hear a video game being played in my house, I suddenly get angry and agitated.
She really does. But when we were talking about, I forget what episode we were talking about date ideas, and playing video games came up, and you said in the podcast, like, I would do that for you.
Yes.
And so I brought it up in front of the kids, and so they reminded you, and one family day, we turned on Call of Duty.
Yes.
Because me and a couple of the kids were playing. Catherine doesn't like to play.
No, she's like me. She doesn't want to be around
You don't like to play. So we made both of you get on there until you shot and killed someone.
Yep. And I did. And to be honest, when they fell and they died, it was so cool.
Right?
I loved it. I was like,
right? So you understand it a little bit.
Yeah, I got it for a moment, but it was just, it's not how I want to spend time. Even though I did enjoy that moment, I don't want to do it like on a regular basis. But I would do that for you on Valentine's, if that's something you want.
Yeah, but there's no way you would win. I would definitely be picking dinner.
I completely agree. But this Valentine's Day is all about me giving you things anyway, so that would be okay.
But you could also switch it up and do like one-on-one games that you play, and after each round, when the loser has to take off clothing.
Ooh, I like this. Strip video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which in that same vein, you could be doing strip poker,
Tetris,
strip Clue,
Boggle,
strip Boggle. Yeah, I like this. Truthfully, any, strip Uno, you hear Uno, it's like...
Not Monopoly, because that would take way too long.
Strip
all right,
Monopoly.
After one round of Monopoly, here's my sock. 3 hours from now, you get the other one.
Well, some people like the slow game.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
I am not one of them.
No. Okay, what is next, babe? You got me all thrown off with strip Uno.
This bucket list thing.
Okay, bucket list. Okay. So, like, choose...
Oh, one thing from your bucket list and do it on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out...
From, each bucket. Okay.
You have VD written down, and I was like, certainly...
Oh, no, because venereal disease.
Yeah, I was like, what is she trying...
It's Valentine's Day.
Like, what is she trying... It says, each choose one thing from your bucket lists and do those on VD. And I was like...
Valentine's Day,
not wanting to say what was... Because it took me a while to figure out what that was supposed to be. Like, certainly she doesn't mean VD as in VD.
Listen,
so.
I got tired of typing the word Valentine's Day a million times.
It's definitely not a great...
Yeah. We do not recommend VD on Valentine's Day.
Do not abbreviate.
Sorry,
like
my
that.
bad. Okay, but the bucket list idea is a cool idea. So you would each look at your bucket list and find one thing that you could cross off your bucket list together on Valentine's Day. So one for you.
You would take me to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's going to stay there for a little while.
What about pottery class like Ghost?
Oh, yes. What's the song?
I have no idea.
Have you seen Ghost? I mean, it's like epic. It's one of those classics.
I'm sure that I have, but it was a very, very long time ago.
Okay, yeah. But yeah.
I know the basics of it. She falls in love with some dead dude.
Well, it's her husband.
Yeah.
So I think she was in love with him the whole time.
Not necessarily.
She was, though. In the movie, she was. But anyway, he basically comes up behind her as she's doing the pottery wheel and puts his hands around her. It's a lot like teaching a sport.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's like the artist version of that.
Yeah, and then the song. Never mind. Okay.
You can't just say never. You can't say never mind on the podcast because you've already like let people know.
Let it go. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. All right. What about this one? This is Thomas's nightmare. Answer 50 questions to build intimacy. So you go on a date and you
see. This
have
is why you
50
can't
questions.
use intimacy in the place of sex because then when you're actually talking about building intimacy, people.
50 questions in sex.
Like, what are you talking about? So
that'd be really bad. Okay. But yeah, to actually get to know each other, you could do that.
Here's more of a sentimental side of things, and that is look through old photos and talk about the things you loved about each day.
This would be
that day.
I would love this because I love photos. I relive my favorite moments through photos all the time. Like I look at our kids and all that stuff. Yeah. So this would be a fun one, I think. Last year, we painted 2 canvases. This was a surprise from Thomas, and it was a fabulous surprise.
Yep.
It came with 2 easels, 2 paintings, and we talked about it last year, but we'll just, throw it out there for you guys in case you want to do it this year. And then you have an online teacher that tells you what to paint, and then your paintings eventually connect into a single painting. So it's very like romantic and sweet, and it was fun. And our paintings turned out great.
They turned out pretty good considering I don't know the first thing about painting.
Yeah, you did a great job. I mean, it was really fun. So
it was fun. But what about this one? I like this one here. Go to a comedy show.
That would be fun.
So
we would both like that.
We would like that a lot. But for you, it might not be a comedy show. It might be a movie. It might be a musical.
It might be the symphony.
It might be going to your local middle school program.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Could it possibly be?
People don't like that when their own kids are in it.
It might be Disney on Ice.
Yeah.
Didn't you just the other day ask me, like, do you want to go to Disney on Ice? Because there was a commercial or something. And I was like, no. Although I really like ice skating. But...
Must have been your other husband because that wasn't me.
Oh, okay, never mind. I think it was one of the kids maybe. Anyway. Yeah, so go to something like that. I think this one's cool. Go to a rage room. We've talked about a rage room on date night, but I think a rage room on Valentine's Day is so kind of like clever and interesting.
Especially if you were to like dress up, like you're going to some super fancy restaurant, but instead you're going to a rage room.
I love the idea of destroying things in high heels and a pretty dress.
Yeah, so that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like this.
You could pretend like you're Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's like a big thing right now.
And just destroy it. Yeah, because it was a movie, now it's a TV show or whatever. But
I think a trivia night would be fun, which you could do your own at home, which is not as cool. But going out to a trivia night, our friend Ryan does trivia nights, and it looks like it's so much fun. I've never been, but that's something that's on my bucket list. That would cross out 2 things.
Here's something you could do. You could do this at home or you could do this at the restaurant while you're out to eat, but it takes some thought ahead of time. You've got a week.
Okay.
And that is to write each other handwritten love notes and then read them to each other.
Out loud.
Kind of like you would do at giving your vows at a wedding or whatever.
So here's what I think is cool about this, because until our vow renewal this year, we had never done anything like that. But it was really romantic to hear Thomas speak the words he had written to me out loud. And it was beautiful to be able to do that for him too. So I do think this is a cool idea.
For some, maybe a trampoline park or go rock climbing. Back to the physical side of things.
That trampoline park just makes me think of broken ankles. Like, but I would do it for you if you wanted to. I do like them, but I'm getting older now to where I'm thinking about like insurance and deductibles.
It's amazing how much energy it takes just to jump on a trampoline.
Yes, because you go to one of those parks and you're like, whoa, is 2 hours up yet? And they're like, oh, it's been 20 minutes.
For young couples, that might be fun.
Yes.
I like this one.
Okay.
And that is do like a virtual cooking class.
Oh, that could
So
be
instead
very
of going
romantic.
out to dinner, we've decided what we want to make, searched up a recipe or whatever. And then there's all kinds of YouTube videos or things where you can go buy cooking classes.
Yes.
And so you're cooking together in the kitchen on Valentine's Day.
And usually, you know what they say, sex starts in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So make it fun and flirty, and then have your meal over candlelight, put on the romantic music, and just go right into wherever it kind of leads.
Yeah, literally wherever.
Wherever. Yeah.
So I think that could be fun. These are all really great ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So family meeting idea.
All right.
Just you and your spouse this week. And that's just talk about what you want to do for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
For some of you, you're like, I kind of like the thought of some of these, but we're really just a routine type of couple. And we just like the classic.
Yeah.
So maybe we are going to go out to dinner and that's what our Valentine's Day is going to be, but maybe you choose somewhere else. Maybe you've got a restaurant in the area that you both wanted to try. You're not ready to jump into strip video games.
It's just weird.
So, but you're going to try a different restaurant. But have a conversation about what are some different ideas you'd like to do. And maybe you throw out some of these ideas. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you think about meeting each other at a hotel?
I want to do it.
Restaurant or whatever. And, going about it that way. Or cooking together, some other thing. Maybe it's something we haven't even talked about yet, but you're like, oh, you said this, but this reminds me of something else that we could do. But having a conversation about, okay, what do we want to do? And making sure that it's clear to your spouse what your expectations are, what you want, your desires, and all those sorts of things. So that when the day comes, you're not feeling disappointed or forgotten or whatever else. You've had some time to talk about it and how you can make it fun and interesting for both of you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you have found this information helpful, please share this episode on social media and invite your friends and family to listen in with you.
To find more content and information Lysandra and I provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or email us at info@familymeeting.org. If you'd like to shoot us a text or call us, you can send a voice message at 904-257-3062.
And we want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we talk about teaching your kids life's not fair.
It's definitely not fair.
But how do we teach them that in a way that's not like mean and torturous?
Yeah, so something happened yesterday. Oh, it was about avocados.
Yes, it was.
Kids were having a conversation about avocados, and one of our daughters was like, I want some. And she was so worried about that it was fair. And I'm like, did you buy the avocados? So when you buy the avocados, you can make sure that whoever gets what is fair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So there are times we've tried to teach our kids this their whole lives.
Yeah. My mom, like she had very few like sayings that she would say, but this was one of them. Life's not fair all the time. Yeah. I remember her saying that growing up. Life's not fair.
So.
And we do need to make sure our kids know that, because some kids come out of the home and become adults and they think everything should be fair. They feel entitled and all this stuff. It's like, let's help them to know that that's not true while they're still at home.
So we'll talk about how to teach them that, and maybe talk a little bit about why we don't want life to be fair.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned. So what about you? What are your out-of-the-box Valentine's Day ideas? Mm-hmm. Really? I like that. So you're going to dress up like a spy and you're going to each meet each other in some European city. I like it.
I like it. Let's do that idea.
Leaving clues about where to meet up.
You know what we didn't even think about was furries. People dress up like furries. That's a big thing.
It really is.
So maybe that's what you're going to dress up like.
Yeah. Good for you. Have a great day.
Bye. Happy Valentine's Day.